We have continuing coverage of the Asheville police officer killed in the line of duty after crashing off the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge yesterday.
37-year-old senior officer Robert Bingaman was a 6-year veteran with the APD. We have live team coverage this evening of the investigation of the crash and how those who knew him are remembering him tonight.
We begin with News 13's Frank Crocker. And Frank, the Highway Patrol is handling this case.
It's standard operating procedure in most motor vehicle accidents on state highways, and there is the additional factor that a law enforcement officer was the victim. There is still evidence of the tragedy at the base of this concrete pylon, more than 60 feet below the deck of the Jeff Bowen Bridge. This is where the patrol car came to rest. This is our first close-up look at the scene of the accident. Officer Bingaman was headed westbound on I-240, just getting on to the bridge. And this is where he somehow lost control of his car, hit that guardrail, and flipped right over it. Asheville fire crews were the first to arrive on scene and scrambled to pull Bingaman from his wrecked cruiser. These were members of Rescue 3. That's the unit that lost Captain Jeff Bowen. He died in the line of duty more than 2 years ago. These first responders were doing their already difficult job beneath the bridge that now bears his name.
It's almost like we just did this not too long ago for Captain Bowen, and so the emotions are very raw. And we could respond to motor vehicle accidents all the time, but when it is another safety officer, it definitely changes the whole dynamics of that call.
We knew responding to the collision scene yesterday that it was an Asheville police officer involved in the wreck, and certainly we didn't know how serious it was.
Senior Trooper Gene Williamson says witnesses are still being interviewed, evidence from the scene processed. The Department of Transportation must now take a look at that guardrail to determine whether it's still solid, to decide if it offers enough protection to drivers passing by. And anyone who has anything to do with working on this bridge, from DOT to police, fire, and ambulance, there is the tragedy that happened here yesterday.
And it's kind of like when you throw a rock in a pond with the ripples. There are ripples effects to these collisions, and we lost one of our own yesterday, and we're all grieving.
So the work continues tonight. The Highway Patrol trying to figure out exactly what caused this crash, and that work could be done by early next week. Reporting live in Asheville, Frank Crocker, News 13.